Imagine waking up one morning to find out that somebody has taken out a $30,000 loan in your name and you had no idea. This can happen to people who thought they were doing everything right, careful with their finances, never missed a payment, and assumed identity theft wouldn't happen to them. Well, they got taken advantage of, and one day a call came from a collections agency about a past due loan they'd never taken out. Turns out somebody had stolen their identity, opened credit cards, and racked up thousands of dollars in debt. The worst part, it could have been prevented with a simple single step: freezing their credit reports. This is one of the easiest ways to protect yourself against fraud, and today we're going to walk through why it's so important for you to do so. Hi, I'm John Strohmeyer with Strohmeyer Law, where we help our clients leave no unfinished business. While I am a lawyer, I'm not your lawyer, so don't take the advice of some talking head on the internet. Remember to talk to your own advisor about your specific circumstances. Also, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Today, we're talking about why and how to freeze your credit reports. We're looking to avoid the frustration and delays of having to deal with this and possibly the costs associated with it. This is something you can do to protect yourself now or after you've passed away, so somebody doesn't open those credit accounts in your own name. Now, what is a credit freeze? Well, a credit freeze restricts access to your credit reports, which prevents new accounts from being opened in your name. Now, existing creditors can still access their reports, but new lenders can't. Why do we care about this as part of estate planning? Well, by preventing identity theft for people, seniors, deceased individuals, children who are often targeted, we stop bigger problems from happening. Where does this show up in estate planning? While we typically think about seniors and deceased individuals being taken advantage of through identity theft, it really can be anyone. Adults of any age, children, anyone can have their identity stolen. And so by protecting your financial integrity, this really does limit a lot of other problems. Does it show up in probate? Sure. It prevents fraudulent accounts from being opened under the names of people who have already passed away. Again, we're looking to reduce the risk of financial exploitation for vulnerable beneficiaries, the deceased, who are vulnerable for a different reason because nobody's necessarily checking on their credit, or anybody else who's alive and just needs to make sure they don't get taken advantage of. So, why do you want to freeze your credit? Well, it's going to stop identity theft. Thieves can't open new accounts in your own name. The second reason to do this is that it's free. Unlike credit monitoring services, credit freezes cost you nothing. All three of the credit reporting bureaus offer this at no charge to you. Third, it's not going to affect your credit score. Your existing credit remains unchanged. Finally, if you do need to thaw your credit, it's very easy to log in, lift the freeze, or schedule a thaw, and then have it go right back to being frozen. So if you need to apply for a loan or otherwise have someone access your credit, you can do that and give them a day or so that they can get that done. How do you actually do this? To prevent this type of fraud, you really want to think about freezing your credit with the three major credit bureaus: Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. Now, to do this, you're just going to go to each credit bureau's website. You'll have to log in or otherwise verify your identity and then request the freeze. The websites for each are a little different, but you'll set up your own account, a password, so that you can log back in and lift the freeze later. What happens then? Well, your existing accounts are going to remain unaffected. Unfortunately, your credit cards and bill payments continue as normal. Employers, landlords, and insurance companies can still access prior reports. Now, if you need new credit, then you're going to have to log in and temporarily lift that freeze. What about a fraud alert? Well, this just tells creditors and potentially consumers to take extra steps to verify identity, but it doesn't block access to your credit report. Think of it as closing the barn doors after all the horses have gone out. It's great, it's good to have the alarm, but unfortunately, the problem has already existed. So, as we pull it all together, when we think about this, we want to protect our credit. You want to lock it down so nobody can take advantage of you. And having your identity stolen can be pretty devastating. Taking a few minutes to get this set up really does prevent a lot of extra headaches. Beyond that, freezing your credit is free, easy, and reversible. You can change it whenever you need to when you need to access your credit. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.